Hello, Choctaw County, and welcome in to another edition of SunTV. I'm Clint Franks, and joining me is my trusted sidekick, the editor and publisher of the Choctaw Sun Advocate, Deanne Campbell. Hello, Deanne.
Hey, Clint, how you doing?
We're doing great.
Cold enough for you?
Very much so. Since the last time we spoke, we said we would hopefully be in a good mood, and we are.
Yeah, we are.
Sort of. I guess we can. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and got a couple things going on in the county.
That's right.
Relating to Dr. King.
On Saturday, the annual Dr. Martin Luther King parade was held in Butler. It was pretty cold, but they had a turnout, and they had the banquet at Gilfield Life Center that night. But we've got some pictures of the parade that we're going to show you, and we'll be back after you watch this. Governmental offices, well, all of them really, are closed. Some other businesses are closed to celebrate that. It's a little hard for us to close on a Monday, so we're here doing our job.
Right.
There will be another Martin Luther King event going on today here in Gilbertown, and they're getting up ready for that over at the town hall now. As I understand it, that'll be taking place here in a few minutes. But you have time to come down if you want to come to Gilbertown to take part in that. It's on the town hall grounds, across the street from us. So, talking about Martin Luther King, I've got a few quotes that some are pretty famous quotes, and some are maybe not so familiar, that are attributed to him. He was really the person who is the voice and the face of the civil rights movement, and he still is today. Everybody's familiar with his "I Have a Dream" speech and all the sacrifices and the statements and the work that he did to further the civil rights movement in this country. Many people believe that without him we wouldn't be to the point we are today, where equality, we're getting closer and closer to equality.
Right.
And so here's some of the famous quotes and the not so famous quotes that y'all might be familiar with from Dr. Martin Luther King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. That's I've heard that quote before, but really not maybe attributed to him, but that is from him.
The one you got here, I think that's my favorite. It says if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward.
And of course, everyone knows the "Free at Last, Free at Last." Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. That's one that we hear a lot in church services and that sort of thing. Here's another one. This says that in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Here's a quote that I believe is something that we all need to pay a little attention to today. It says, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?"
Right.
And also, he talked a lot about education. He was a proponent of education and higher education. Of course, he himself was a highly educated man. He had a doctorate degree, and he placed so much emphasis on education that every one of his speeches he referred to education in some way. And here's one of his quotes on that subject: "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that's the goal of true education." And you would all across the country today, you would hope that maybe our educational systems would be focusing on those things. I don't know that all of them are, but you would hope that they would be teaching critical thinking is the big thing, instead of just rote learning. Instead of memorization, but critical thinking. So, what else, Clint? Do you have some other quotes from Dr. King?
Well, let's see here. We must accept finite disappointment, but we never lose infinite hope. You're going to you're going to bump your head, you're going to fall, but you keep moving forward, I guess.
And which was the definition of his life.
Right.
Really. Here's another one. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. That's pretty blunt. That's really blunt. And love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. And one thing you know about, if you know anything about the history of Dr. King, was that he preached that. Love for your enemies, and that love, reaching across the aisle and loving somebody, was the answer. And we've gotten away from that these days. We're so divided in this country. We've gotten far away from that sentiment, unfortunately.
Let's see here. Where are we at? Right here. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy.
That's right. It's pretty easy to be a good person when everything's going right. It's a different animal when things are not. And of course, the most famous words that people attribute to Dr. King, and these are etched into the monument. If you've ever been to Washington, D.C. and seen the new, it's relatively new. It's only been up a few years. In fact, Tommy and I and Kristen were up there when they were constructing that monument. And even at that time, it was impressive. If you have not seen it and you get the chance to go to Washington, you should go by. And then on the top of the Lincoln Memorial, where he made the I Have a Dream speech, are these words, and they're etched in it. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I think we all hope that people judge us not by outward appearance at all.
And that's the biggest challenge. Still to this day, it's still the biggest challenge.
Yeah. And you would hope people would judge you by your character instead of what they see on the outside or what they perceive that they see. Okay, Clint, it's cold outside. I know they're gathering up for the Martin Luther King event across the street, and it's pretty chilly out there. So I'm sure that they're bundled up. And,
it is, I remember people were griping here several weeks ago. We need a cold winter. Well, folks,
we got one.
Guess what we got? Big time cold.
Back in the fall, the predictions were, and the Alabama climatologist put out a report that we were going to have a relatively warm winter. And I think the first part of the latter part of 2017, that's what they were thinking.
That's right.
And if that's the case, I don't know about it because I've been cold.
We still got them. We still got February and then part of March, but so far we've had.
Most of our snows have been in after January.
And like what you said, and snow. Mm-hmm. We've seen snow. Let's see, we had snow in December. We had it the other night, depending on where you were in the county.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Here it comes again,
well,
folks.
we might be in for some more white stuff. And I tell you what, after the 6 to 8 inches that we had back in December, I'm not so inclined to be so excited about it this time.
Enough's enough.
Yeah. But it's just plain cold, And we were talking about power bills earlier and how high we're seeing power bills go because of the heat that's being, that we're having to run 24/7. And so this is, it seems unusual for Choctaw County. I know we've had some cold winters before, but you know what? I'm ready for spring. How about you?
It's ready time for flip-flop weather again.
Well, today, we're going to get up to 55, which is going to seem like a balmy summer day after we've had what we've had. But tonight it's going to get down to about 28. And then on Tuesday, we're going to see a chance for rain and even some snow, some scattered snow showers. The high is going to be around 42, so you would think that that's not cold enough really to generate a lot of problems with that. But the wind chills are going to make it feel like it's 25 tomorrow. So even if it does say 42 on the thermometer, don't believe it. It's not true.
No, it's not. It's going to get really cold tomorrow night.
And wind gusts of up to 14 miles per hour tomorrow. So you know what? You're not going to be able to keep your hair intact, Clint. I don't know what you're going to do.
I don't know.
But then tomorrow night we're going to see some more scattered snow showers, lows around 16, and the wind chill is going to make it feel like it's 4 degrees. And that is pretty cold.
That's going to be.
Get out another blanket. Put your fuzzy socks on.
It's going to be. That's going to be rough.
Well, on Wednesday we're not going to see anything above 35 degrees, and the low on Wednesday night will be 15. So we're in for some chilly days. But the good news is by Saturday, Clint,
60s.
we're going to have mid-60s, and we're going to think we're in beach weather. We're going to see folks out there in shorts on Saturday.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I know. we've got some really sad news this week. I'm sure that everybody has already heard that Heidi Jackson passed away, and they're holding her funeral today. And you know, Heidi has struggled with her leukemia most all of her childhood. Right. And so a sad day for the Jackson family and for South Choctaw Academy, where she attended school, and really for the whole community. This county has wrapped their arms around Heidi over the last several years. She's been the recipient of so many prayers. I mean, she's just been, this county has taken her for their own, and I'm sure the Jackson family knows that we're all praying, and I'm sure the whole county is mourning today the loss of Heidi. She was a remarkable person.
Yes, she was. She fought that with a lot of class, a lot of dignity.
She did. Coming up, we're going to have some different. Our SunTV shows are going to take on a little different flavor. We're going to be doing some other things, some more video reporting, and we're going to actually change a little bit of the format. And we're not going to tell you much about that today, but we're going to let that be something to look forward to. Yep. And so, Clint, bundle up a little bit and get your fuzzy socks on.
I got them.
Yeah. And we'll see you on Wednesday.